Hi YouTube, Smurf here. Today I'm going to be doing a segment I am calling That Card's Effect Sounds a Lot Like. Today we're going to be talking about Mystical Space Typhoon. We all know Mystical Space Typhoon. It's been around forever. For a while it was limited, but now it's unlimited at 3 and running a rampage across the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, destroying all those face downs and continuous spell cards that people don't want to see or that they think it will help people with. You know what I meant, hopefully. Anyways, Mystical Space Typhoon destroys one spell or trap card on the field. Period. Enough said. It's a quick play spell card, so you can play it on your opponent's turn. I'm going to examine one card that I think sounds pretty familiar. Maybe not exactly the same, but it kind of can do the same thing that Mystical Space Typhoon can do. And that is Bait Doll. Now, Bait Doll is a peculiar card. I'm pretty sure it's been around almost as long as Mystical Space Typhoon is, but it's never really seen as much action. And, you know, I'll get into that later. Let's read its effect first. Forced activation of one face-down trap card, period. If the timing of the activation of the trap card is incorrect, negate the effect and destroy it. If it is not a trap card, it is returned to its original position, period. After this card is activated, it is placed into the deck, not the graveyard, period. The deck is then shuffled. Now, like I said with Mystical Space Typhoon, it destroys one spell trap card. Enough said. In a discussion. Bait Doll targets trap card, and it only destroys it if the timing is incorrect when you flip it face up and you force the activation. So what does that really mean? So let's say you ended up targeting a face down Sakuretsu armor, and you know it's not the battle phase and you haven't attacked with the monster. So that is the incorrect timing for Sakuretsu armor to activate. So Bait Doll negates its effect and destroys it. And then Bait Doll returns to your deck, and the deck is then shuffled. I think that's pretty nice, you know. Get rid of face down, could have hurt you, right? You can recycle the card. Maybe, maybe not, you know, but hey, who knows? Now, let's examine another situation. So, you end up targeting a trap card like Solemn Judgment or Dark Bribe. So with Solemn Judgment, it would force activation, meaning your opponent would have to pay half of their life points to negate Bait Doll. Granted, you wouldn't get Bait Doll back into the deck, but hey, you got rid of half of your opponent's life points and a pesky trap card that pretty much is a God Says No. Now, I'm sorry if that offends some people, but that's what it's commonly known with me and my friends. God Says No, because it basically negates anything and everything. Granted, it doesn't, but that's what we relate it to. But that's another topic. But yeah, so half their life points gone, Solemn Judgment out of the way, and now you're free to do some shenanigans. Now, let's talk about the third scenario. You target a face down card, and this time it's not a trap, it's a spell. So what happens is, your opponent has to reveal that card to you. You get to know what that face down card is. It's a spell card, granted, because you're not destroying it, it's not being force activated, but you're seeing it. Not many people play face down spell cards unless they're trying to do something tricky. Or it's a kind of select deck. So chances of you selecting a face down spell card isn't that heavy unless your opponent has already been annoyed by your Bait Doll. But hey, then you know what their spell card is, you know what they're planning. You know what's in their hand, you know if it's a bluff, you know kind of free reign. You get, knowledge is power, knowledge is freedom, and knowledge allows you to be comfortable and make better decisions. And that's what Bait Doll will offer you if it's not a trap card. It's knowledge, and knowledge definitely is power, like I already just said. Now, let's kind of do the downsides of both cards. Mystical Space Typhoon. What's its main downside? You use it once and it's gone. Granted, you could have two others in your deck, So that's very true. So that downside could possibly not be a downside. But that means you're running 3. And if you're running 3, that's 2 other spaces that you could be using for other cards. Maybe more draw power. Who knows? Now the downsides of Bait Doll. Let's see. It doesn't destroy spell cards. It doesn't destroy face up spell or trap cards. So continuous spell cards, continuous trap cards, and regular spell cards are... I mean, Bait Doll can't touch them. That is a downside, and it can be a pesky problem. But, you know, what's another downside of Bait Doll? Another downside could possibly be that it goes into the deck. Normally people don't like to add cards back to their deck unless, you know, they're getting something out of it, like draw power with Pot of Avarice. But Bait Doll, not really. You're just recycling a card that I guess could potentially be a dead draw. And some people would not feel comfortable with that. So I understand why Bait Doll isn't played as much as Mystical Space Typhoon, but I don't really understand why no one plays it. Like, even the random people that, you know, I've been to a couple locals around me, and none of them, most of them haven't even heard of it. Why is that? Because no one ever really plays it. So, I mean, if you find room in your deck for Bait Doll rather than MST, I recommend you try it. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it'll set up some great plays. Maybe it won't. But hey, you gotta try it more than once, and you gotta try it to figure out if it helps you or not. But that's all for that card's effect. Sounds a lot like... Bye, YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more content. See ya. Ugh.